Why, hello there, everyone. Get ready for week 8 of the NFL whenever you will watch this video. So, this is the NFL algorithm. It's a program I've created in Microsoft Excel to predict football games. It generally does pretty well. This season, it has not had a breakout week where it did amazing things. It hasn't done that yet. And it made me realize, all right, I need to spend a little more time with it. I need to do some more programming. This video is going to be an interesting discussion of this upcoming week 8. And we're going to talk about how we can craft the projections to be more accurate by going through the projection pivot sheet and making the lineups more accurate. And we'll talk about that for the majority of this video. Let's talk about what it says without doing that. Okay, so a lot of games on the schedule here in week 8. It looks like fewer teams have buys this week than the previous couple weeks. No surprise, it does have Buffalo beating Green Bay, a team that's been struggling recently. They are minus 500. Then it has a weird thing with Detroit beating Miami because I think it really thinks that Detroit will put up a lot of points at home. Sees a crazy amount of points in this game, 87 total points. Then it has the Eagles over Pittsburgh at minus 460. Then Cincinnati over Cleveland, a very reasonable line there, actually. The Niners over the Rams, which has Christian McCaffrey on there now. Houston, a team that's been overestimated to beat Tennessee, a team that's been underestimating. And then it starts to get deeper into things where the projected margins of victory are not that great. So of course, there's some weird things in here, and I wanted to dive in and say, well, how can we make these scores better? How can we have them more accurately reflect the lineups that are going on? And that relates to the Proj pivot sheet. And basically, now that we're deeper into the season, where multiple quarterbacks have had multiple instances in which they've entered a game and gathered stats, we don't oftentimes want to add their stats together to calculate the team's QB rating. So we kind of want to remove quarterbacks that are not playing really. So we're going to talk about how we do that. When we click quarterbacks and then we start to open everybody up, you start to see all the different quarterbacks that we have associated with each one of these teams. And after watching the New England-Chicago game on Monday night and seeing them bring in Bailey Zappi and having him throw a couple touchdowns in like a minute, or however fast he did it, it made me realize sometimes you want to have both quarterbacks in here when the team is thinking about balancing between both quarterbacks. And sometimes you just want to have one quarterback. And sometimes you definitely don't want to include third stringers that maybe got in there briefly and have a high rating, but it's not deserving. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through every single team. And as we remove quarterbacks that we think will not start or play the majority of the game, we're going to see how that affects the projected scores and changes things here in the pick sheet. And then we're going to get a different look than we do right here. So we're going to freeze this look. All right, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste this as an image picture. We're going to save it right here, and then we're going to end up getting a brand new look after we pull out quarterbacks that are not relevant. So with Miami, Skylar Thompson, third stringer, I think is questionable. Let's remove him. Gone. Now, the other two quarterbacks that were on Miami with Tua and Teddy Bridgewater, I feel like both of them might play. So I left both of them in there. Now, maybe I'm double counting, but that's what we're doing. Giants, Tyrod Taylor, Daniel Jones. Might both of them play, or is it all going to be Daniel Jones most likely? He's been winning. I haven't seen Tyrod Taylor much, so I guess you could remove Tyrod Taylor. Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts. No, Miami, yes. Did you leave both of them in? I think you do. I think you leave both of them in. Pittsburgh, Trubisky or Pickett? I don't know. You guys have an answer to that question? I think it's Pickett now, right? After the last game, he played pretty well. So let's get rid of Trubisky. I think a lot of people would like to get rid of Trubisky. Arizona, Kyler Murray, Trace McSorley. Is Trace McSorley playing at all? I don't know. I think Kyler Murray's probably fine. Jets, Flacco, Wilson. I think it's Wilson, right? Let's get rid of Flacco. Denver, Brent Rippon, Russell Wilson is questionable. Uh-oh. Do we remove Russell Wilson and we say it's Brent Rippon? I don't know. I'm going to leave that for now, but let's know that is something there. Josh Allen, Case Keenum. We don't have to remove Case Keenum because he's got a 0 rating anyway. New Orleans Saints, Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton. Who's playing? I don't know. I guess we're leaving both of them in there because I don't know what to do with the Saints. Joe Burrow's playing very well. Carolina Panthers, Baker Mayfield, PJ Walker. I think Baker Mayfield's done, right? I keep hearing, I want to think Baker Mayfield's done. I'm just going to take him out because I'm guessing, but I don't know the answer to that. What else we got? Mariota on the Falcons, Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush. What's that situation? I'm going to leave them both in because I think that Dallas has potential to, like, because these guys have been split. That's one of the reasons to leave them in, is you don't know who's going to go, but the sum of the two of them is more accurate of what Dallas can do. Yeah, this situation, what happened with Mac Jones? That's not good. Zappy showed some heart, but then didn't do anything. I don't know what to do there. I'm leaving them both in. Justin Fields in. Geno Smith in. Mahomes, Chad Henne can leave Mini because he's a minus 0.02. Tannehill and Walt Willis. This is interesting. Got to watch this to see if Tannehill does not play because that matters. Trevor Lawrence in, doesn't matter. Either Pickett. Everyone else is one except for Houston. So you have David Mills and Driscoll. I don't know what the situation is there. I don't know what the situation is there. I'm leaving them both in. Niners, Garoppolo, Purdy's got no rating. Heineke, yep, good. Goff, Stafford, Brady. No rating on Love, no rating on the free agent. So that looks good. All right. So I think we've pulled out basically everybody that we could. That was, we can get rid of one more thing, linebackers, punters, something. Yeah, we can get rid of something else. Okay, so now we're lined up again. And we got rid of all those. You'll see the names are rarely speckled, like Joe Flacco. Like, we got rid of quarterbacks that we don't think are playing. And you could do that with every position if you really go dig through every position on the depth chart and see if it is accurate. But let's see what happens to the scores. They do change a little bit, but not much. What changed? New England went up a little. Houston went down a little. Every Tampa Bay went up a little. The Giants went down a little. And that's about it. Where's Minnesota? Where's Minnesota? Minnesota goes off. Actually, it flips the Minnesota-Arizona game, puts it in favor of Minnesota this way. So what that did is it gives you a little more interesting projection of things. Still 50-35, Detroit over Miami, which is nuts. I know, but for some reason, it just thinks that Detroit puts up a ton of points at home. I mean, looking at it this way, which is probably the most accurate, given the current look that we have, is there anything of interest on here? Well, we've got projected total points and over/under points shown over here, which is kind of interesting to look at, see if there's any major disparity, as also as just winners. I will not take Detroit, so watch them win, but that seems crazy. But certainly, I know the over/under is set at a ridiculous number, but it thinks that the over/under is going to be a ridiculous number. So, I mean, it thinks that Detroit almost clears that 51.5 on their own. So that's some crazy stuff. But that is what's showing up. Is there anything that looks good? Cincinnati over Cleveland looks at a reasonable line there at only minus 167. The Rams are not great, and the San Francisco picking up McCaffrey, I think, really wants to win, even though they're on the road. Well, I mean, minus 118. Patriots over the Jets. Jets lost a really strong running back to injury last game. I wonder if I'm sure that's impacting the point projections that it has that player out. Thinks there'll be almost no points in a game like this. See how that goes. Man, Houston, tough to take them after they blew it last week. And why would they beat the Titans if Tannehill's out? Maybe, but I don't know if Tannehill's out yet. Bad line on the Cowboys, the Bears. Saints are a tough team to predict against the Raiders. Sounds crazy. Don't know what to do there. I would never take Jacksonville in any situation this season anymore at all. So I'll take Denver no matter who plays quarterback. And that's in Denver. Uh, Indianapolis should be Washington. This is probably an exact score coming out of the algorithm right here. Because I don't know, it's weird. NFL is looking extremely tough. That is the conclusion that I'm coming to reviewing this and doing this is as I look at other sports like NBA and of course college basketball coming down the pike and even hockey to an extent, NFL has had some amazingly just ridiculous things happen. And I'm you just kind of wonder officiating and everything else. It is a soap opera. It is a soap opera in itself, meaning it's just like NFL. I mean, just look at last week. Look at the ridiculous losses last week. This is after resorting. That's not right because Tampa Bay was on top and the Patriots were on top, and the Chargers were way up there, and they just get destroyed. It's like, what on earth? I mean, I don't know. So NFL, I enjoy watching it. It is fun to bet on and to play, but it has been really difficult. And while we are due for a breakout week, I'm not confident like I am in a sport like NBA or college basketball to be like, oh my, yeah, thing is winning, is going to be winning all the time. It's not feeling like that. It's just been really, really tough this year for whatever reason. So this is the look. This is the video for week 8 because I got a lot of other projects on the horizon here this week. So good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning. If you want to copy this file to be able to toy and play around with it yourself so that you can adjust players that you think will be playing and mess around with formulas so that hopefully you can make this thing even better than the model that I am putting out. So be it, go for it. You can follow the links in the description. But good luck, everybody. May all your picks be winning. If there's one pick for week 8, is it the Bills over the Packers? The answer is I do not know. I do not feel, even the person who created this algorithm, I do not feel qualified to give you advice on NFL because it has just been so choppy and weird that I'm not confident in putting my reputation up on what NFL is doing right now. So good luck, everyone. It's a fun sport to watch. We'll continue watching it. May all your picks be winning. Good luck.